Hello, it's me again with some more foveated rendering results. So what I did was I added a 2160p buffer. So let's activate that now. Now you can't really tell here because it's taking a 4K image and it's downsampling it to the down to a 1080p display. And the dots are no longer so apparent here. If I switch back to 1080p resolution, you can see each of the individual dots. If I go back up to 4K, they all sort of blend together. But the end result is, whoops. If you look up here at the mountain peak, you can't even really see any real change happening as I'm moving around the tip. And again, that's partially because the 4K image is being downsampled to a 1080p. If you look at this tree right here, I'll move away from it and it becomes pixelated right about there. So you can see it switching back and forth between two different modes. So to make this a little bit more apparent, I'll zoom it in. Now this is more of a 4K resolution. You're just seeing 1/4 of the screen. So that's how pixelated it ends up looking on a 4K display. Now if also this line has an apparent change to it as I move the mouse pointer back and forth. But if we go back to what I demonstrated before, if you just follow the mouse pointer, no part of the scene has any real apparent change to it. As I said that, I thought I saw this line suddenly change its orientation, but I think that's because I let my eye dart a little bit. Let me try that again. So let's follow the mouse pointer around. Whoops. And I'm not seeing any apparent changes here. As long as your eye follows the mouse pointer, you won't be able to see any real change. Let's switch to a new graphic. So here's a zoomed in the TV test graphic, and this image, this part of the image right here was very apparent when the mouse moved away. And it looks very apparent now, but if you follow the mouse pointer, the change is a lot harder to notice now. So on a 4K display, the reassembly is at a deeper resolution, so these finer details are a lot harder to make out as far as the changes go. Same goes for these star lines. It's very obvious. When I move the mouse pointer around, you can see the circle changing their shape. But if you just follow the mouse pointer, you're not noticing any of these resolution changes for the foveated rendering. And last, this one isn't so apparent. The biggest change is down here where these lines become pixelated if I move the mouse pointer away. But you can't really make that out at all. I wish the radar screens up here would have been visible. If I move it away, you can see a slight pixelization right now, and then it goes away, and then it comes back again. I would have liked to have zoomed in on that in 4K to see those results, but I'm pretty sure that those would be very unnoticeable when you're following the mouse pointer around. So I still think this is a really good solution even for a 4K render, and I unlocked the vertical sync, and it still can maintain 500 frames per second. A 3080 jumps to 40% power usage when I'm reassembling the foveated image at 500 frames per second, but when I drop it back down to 60, the power usage drops to 15% or so. Naturally, for a VR, we want to try to get 90 frames per second or 120, but I still think the power usage will be very low on this. So I'm going to continue with this. I'll try to have one of my other applications that's doing some very intense calculations that has a low frame rate because of it. I'll try the foveated rendering on those situations and see if it helps the frame rate and see what kind of results I get. So thanks again, and I'll be back with more.